the manifestation of how God works all things together for the good of those that love God and to those that are called according to his purpose. That is the manifestation of that. That is how he works everything after the counsel of his own will, where he can take anything that has happened or gone wrong and use it to put you right where you were supposed to be all along. Welcome back to Grace and Grief. I'm LaSandra, and it's been a while since I recorded my last video, so thank you for joining me. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I started this channel, guys, I started the channel 3 years ago. Coming up on 3 years ago, because my husband passed away in 2017 on October 18th, and so I just experienced the 3-year anniversary of that, and I recorded my first YouTube video. If you look back, it was about 4 weeks after he passed away, and so that is unbelievable to me that it's been 3 years. I mean, it's been 3 years. Like, really? Yeah, it's just crazy that the time feels different when you are on a grief journey, I think, and in a process of having to really rebuild your life. Yeah, you experience time in a different way. When obviously the person you lived with and had been walking through your life with is no longer here. Yeah, I want to give you guys an update. I want to also tell you a little bit about a interview series that I'm going to start posting next week. So this video will serve both purposes. I'm always around, so let me say that first of all. I am not always posting YouTube videos, but I'm always writing. And so when I started Grace and Grief, I really started writing about my faith, writing about my marriage, writing about my grief process. And it just so happens that the Lord really dealt with me about the way he dealt with me about next steps in my life was that he highlighted a particular person to me that I was acquainted with but wasn't quite really close to yet. And he highlighted this person to me, and I felt really strongly that I was supposed to take this person's advice, but they had not given me any advice. But I just felt strongly like, when this person gives you some advice, take their advice. And I felt that feeling was from the Lord. And so I started writing about my faith, you know, the loss of Kenneth, and feedback about my writing was just people were really blessed by what I was writing. And a lot of people were saying to me, you know, LaSandra, what you're saying is profound. I'm really, like, you're a great writer. So many people were telling me that they were really impacted by what I was sharing, my story, my faith. And so I was really blessed to hear that at the time. But I was really comfortable in the space of writing because, I mean, like many of you may know, if you're a good writer, if you're a good communicator, often that's recognized in school. And so people tell you you're a great writer. You do well in writing. You do well when you write. You do well when you turn in papers. So I knew I had a certain confidence I was a good writer. So I was like, okay, yeah, I like to write. This is like natural for me. I'm writing to share because I just feel compelled to share, and it helps me and helps other people. But this particular person that I felt the Lord had highlighted to me to take the advice from ended up talking to me one day, commenting about the writing and saying, your writing is great, but I really feel strongly that you should do some YouTube videos and begin to document through video. And so of course I was like, what? Wait, what? Like, no, I wasn't. I didn't expect you to say that. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was really scared because I'm not as comfortable in front of the camera. Some people just are not super comfortable in front of the camera. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not nervous and shy in front of people. I can preach, at church to a church full of people, or speak to a large crowd at a huge conference, and I don't feel nervous and I don't feel awkward because of the energy and the feedback of the people in the room. But when I am doing a live video, or if I'm recording on my phone, it just feels awkward, and it's just a little bit more awkward for me. Nevertheless, I did the YouTube videos. I have not been as consistent with the YouTube videos as I've been over the past few years with panels and public speaking and Instagram and Facebook. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, go follow me today. It's at Grace and Grief. Because I'm always writing, because writing is a comfortable place. Nevertheless, I don't know if you guys have ever felt that God has just like bothered you about a certain thing, but it's recording videos is probably something that I would get out of if I did not feel constantly bothered by or dealt with or nudged by the Lord to do it. I always feel as though the Lord is dealing with me to continue to YouTube and to do live videos, even though he knows he knows good and well that I don't want to do that. But I have recently surrendered. I surrendered, you guys. No, for real. No, seriously. Like I have surrendered. I surrender to whatever God has for me. That is where I'm at. That is the update. There you have it. That's the 3-year update. The 3-year update of widowhood for me is that I surrender. I have recently surrendered to the call of God on my life, to whatever God is trying to do in my life, to the things, the gifts and the callings that he has given me. I am one of those people that, everyone can see your gifts and everyone's excited and everyone's, prophesying over you, and everyone's like, you're going to be all this great stuff. And then instead of, feeling like, yes, those comments evoke anxiety. They should make you feel good, but sometimes when I'm hearing a lot of that, I just feel a lot of anxiety, like, oh my God, well, oh my goodness, what does this mean? And so I'm just one of those people, whatever that is about my personality or my background or my own dysfunction, but that has been my journey. But God has dealt with me a lot about submitting and about surrendering to his will for my life. And so with that, let me say this to everyone that's watching this video who may have, because you guys are coming here, and I'm sure some of you are fresh, in the sense that you have lost your spouse very recently, and so I want to always want to give a transparent perspective, and I want to, be real and open, and that's a part of the Grace and Grief brand, is to be real and to be raw and be honest and pretty uncensored. And so I would say that the past 3 years have been hard, baby. Ooh, child. The past 3 years have been hard. I mean, there is no need for me to tell you it hasn't. It hasn't been easy. with that being said, I have experienced a lot of good things in the past 3 years. A lot of good things have happened in my life and in me and through me in the past 3 years. And so, and I have also found God to be the same good, faithful God that I knew him to be before my husband passed away. And that is my testimony. That is the truth. I've cried a lot, but I've also grown a lot. I've changed a lot. I've done a lot. I mean, goodness, like I guess I'll be unpacking that more, here on YouTube and on other platforms. But I want to let you know that you can do this. If you're fresh on this walk and you feel like there is no way I can do this, I don't know if you guys have been watching since the beginning, but I mentioned on the first video, I think I was saying something about like how I kept saying, I hate this, because I didn't want to do any of it. I didn't want to do any of the funeral stuff. I didn't want to pick out a suit for my husband to wear. I didn't want to do a program. I didn't want to send the thank you cards. I just hated all of it. I hated all of it. I hated that all of this was happening, but I have grown tremendously. I have matured tremendously. I feel that I'm more who God originally designed me to be, and that somehow he used the loss of my husband to make me more into to help me grow more into who he really was calling me to be anyway, if that makes sense. My children have grown and matured. We as a family have created a new dynamic that integrates my husband and his vibe and his spirit and his legacy, but that's our own dynamic. And I think they want to do a live with me, so I may have them on this channel or I may have them on a live, but either way I'll let you know. But yeah, we've grown a lot as a family. God blessed me to go to South Africa, which was one of my wildest dreams. I was there last year in the fall for the Changemaker retreat with Jennifer Lucy Tyler, and I will put a link to her social media handles in the description. She's absolutely amazing, and she hosted the retreat, and God was just all over it, and it was a life-changing experience. So like the Lord also blessed me to start working in a new capacity at a nonprofit organization that I used to work at some years ago, doing something that I really have been passionate about a long time, and that's doing domestic violence advocacy. I've been doing violence prevention work since I was a teenager, but in 2012 I honed in more specifically on domestic violence and did the 40-hour training in the state of Illinois, and did a court advocacy training to learn more about court advocacy for victims of domestic violence. And then I started working at an agency that is in Illinois that provides pretty much every service that you can think of to people that have been impacted by domestic violence. So when I got back from South Africa, an opportunity opened up there, and so I started working full-time at that agency. So I'm building Grace and Grief as an entrepreneurship, as a business, as a brand, as a ministry, but then also working in domestic violence. And those are both things I'm passionate about. Those are things I've wanted to do. This is the kind of work that is in alignment with my gifts, in alignment with my education, in alignment with my experiences, and the things that are really close to my heart. So I thank God for that. I see that as a testimony, because that does not have to be my story. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. I thank you. That does not have to be my story. But God has not allowed me to, I don't know, I feel almost like, in a sense, like he hasn't allowed me to skip a beat. He just has allowed me to continue to move on in the things that I was planning to do or wanting to do, even though I didn't see it happening like this. I didn't know the details, but when I look at my life, the things that I'm doing are things that I wanted to do anyway. God has been faithful, and to me, to my children, I am growing in ways that I don't even know that I would have foreseen. Um, mm, How do I say this? I'm gonna say this. When I was a child, I grew up in a Catholic church. So in a Catholic church, everything is very composed. And the music is very slow, and there is a homily given, which is kind of like the sermon, but it's not given. It's not like in a Pentecostal church or something. It's given in a way that's very inspiring but very calm. However, when I was at home, I would watch like all kinds of, Pentecostal fiery speakers and preachers. And I remember standing up in my room at about 10 years old or so, watching a speaker, and I would listen even to the radio to different speakers and different preachers. And back then we had tapes, so I was recording those messages, and then I would play them back and memorize them. And then when I was in my bedroom by myself, I would preach them out loud like I was the speaker. Hallelujah. And I remember standing in my room watching a speaker, and he was preaching, and in my heart I thought to myself, I'm probably like 10 or 11, I said in my heart, this is what I want to be. I want to somehow speak and preach the person that's at the lowest of the low out of a pit. Like, I want to be able to pull the people that are at the bottom of the barrel or the end of their rope, like up off the floor with my speaking and with my preaching. And I never let that go. And so when I look at what I'm doing with Grace and Grief, all this time has passed. I've been what looks like derailed in every way. And then my husband passes away. But then I start to YouTube, and I start to write, and I start to public speak to pretty much the people, right? Those of us who have experienced devastating loss, to the people that have experienced the most unimaginable, heartbreaking things. And God is now using my voice and using my writing and using my speaking, and has been doing that over the past 3 years to help pull those people up out of the lowest of the low that many of us can experience in our human experiences on the earth. And so I look at that reality, and I just say, you know what? That is the manifestation of how God works all things together for the good of those that love God and to those that are called according to his purpose. That is the manifestation of that. That is how he works everything after the counsel of his own will, where he can take anything that has happened or gone wrong and use it to put you right where you were supposed to be all along. I don't understand it. I don't understand how he does it. Like, I don't get it, but he is sovereign. He has been good to me. I still have a long way to go. I'm not where I'm trying to be. I don't have it all together, but I've come a long way, and I just wanted to share. That is my testimony. I wanted to share that with you guys. I've been gone for a while, but I'm about to make it up to you, okay? I am going to start posting a video series or interview series that I created in the month of May. Oh my God, a group of beautiful people agreed to allow me to interview them about their loss and how they pretty much experience loss and turn the pain into purpose. These are not actors. These are not, celebrity people or anything. These are just real, regular people, people that I know and love, who just have some powerful stories, who have been through the unimaginable. I called the series Facing the Unimaginable. And so if some of you follow me on Facebook or if you follow me on Instagram, you may remember me posting about that in May. But yeah, they shared they gave us an uncensored look into what happened in their lives, what loss they experienced, and then how they grew through that, and what they did with that, and how they have turned those losses around to be a blessing for other people now. I think it's important that we see that. It's important to keep those examples in front of us as we're walking through grief, as we're recreating our lives after loss. So I want you guys to see it. I know you're going to be blessed by it. I know it's going to be helpful. I also interviewed a counselor, a mental health professional, to talk more about how people can deal with grief during the pandemic. And she was phenomenal. So I know you're going to really appreciate it and be blessed by that video as well. Start uploading those videos this coming Monday. I don't know yet if I don't know yet if I'll upload 2 videos a week or if they'll just come and be uploaded on Mondays. But I'll let you guys know in the description on Monday, and just be on the lookout for those videos. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe today. You don't want to miss a single moment. And make sure you also hit the bell so that you'll get the notifications when the videos drop. Keep praying for me. Keep praying for my children. I'll be praying for you. Do leave a comment. I want to hear from you. If there's any particular content that you want to see, any questions that you have, please let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.